Welcome to another look at one of my collections. Today we're going to be having a look at my 15mm Vietnam collection, or at least as far as I've got with it at the moment. These are all Battlefront miniatures. I do retain a certain fondness for some reason for this scale on team bases. It was a product line that I was interested in once before in terms of the World War II miniatures, but had not had anything to do with any form of Flames of War for many, many years, until I happened to pick up a platoon pack of US infantry, in this case the Air Mobile or Air Cav platoon on the left-hand side here. And from there, my interest in it grew, and I've purchased a variety of others. This is as far as I've got with it so far. So I've built up a platoon of Air Cavalry, and also a platoon and part of a fresh one, and the company command for a US Marines company. The idea being it's sort of a 67, 68 era force around the sort of Tet Offensive on either side of that. They're really, really nice miniatures. I will say that there is a difference in quality between these that I ordered directly from Battlefront, which were the US Marine Rifle Company pack, and this blister pack that I picked up from a hobby store. That's possibly due to the age of the sculpts. They do still sell these miniatures as the US infantry, I think, and also as ARVN troops. But then I might be wrong in that, because I have noticed that the US Marine Rifle Company and the US Rifle Company that you can buy, although they buy platoons, so it comes as a US Marine Rifle Platoon, and a regular Army Platoon are the same. There's just an extra squad in the US Marine pack. And they use these miniatures, which are certainly crisper and better sculpt. These ones have some of the sort of soft features that betray perhaps the age and release date of the sculpting. But I enjoyed painting them nevertheless. So here's a quick look at those aircav figures. That's what you get in the pack. So 3 squads of 2 medium bases each, a couple of machine gun teams, a couple of command teams, and a medic team. So that's the medic on the end there. You got a couple of M60 teams, one of which is behind a little rock wall. And then these are the rifle squads. You can see I did bother to go to the lengths in this case of painting a little impression, at least, of the division patch on their shoulders. And it does make a difference, actually, a little detail. The little colour spots that breaks them up and gives a little extra point of interest. So it was worth doing. And there's the command teams. And so from there, it progressed on to deciding I was going to do a US Marine Rifle Company. My intention is to use these for Too Fat Lardies Charlie Don't Surf rules. It doesn't really matter, they're not individually based. I'm quite happy to mark casualties. And I really want to marry that set of rules that one try with this team-based setup, which I particularly like, and like these miniatures. And you can make it work. I had to buy an extra pack of US Marines in the end to have enough options to make the company command and the various weapon team options. And I've got plenty more to get through. So as a quick look at these, this is a full platoon back here. So much larger squads, although these are not full strength. There would be 14 men according to TOE, but I mean, they wouldn't have been full strength. Chances are there might have been fewer men in the platoon than this. But it's 3 squads, each of 3 bases. And nice miniatures they are too. I've done little bits and pieces like paint the cigarette packets or whatever else might be in the helmet bands and little details like that. And they were very, very pleasing to work on, actually, and I quite like doing the basing for them as well. The existing tufts I had worked out quite well for them. So I hope you think they've come out all right anyway. So those are the rifle squads, and then on the end here they've got the platoon commander being handed his radio by the radio operator, a medic team on that base there, to which I've just added an extra infantryman for a bit of interest, and then a couple of M60 teams that have been a combat attached from the Weapons Platoon, and then in front of them the beginnings of the next platoon. So I've painted 1 squad, 1 of the machine gun teams, and the platoon command, and that's about this maximum number of figures that I work on when painting at any one time, which helps you get through the platoon in relatively quick order, actually, because each time I do that, I'm completing a full rifle squad, like you would see here, a weapon team, and then either the platoon HQ or an additional base, which might be the medic or so on. So it's getting done in basically about 3 batches, roughly speaking. You might find that the last batch is just a single squad, but that's about in as many figures as I want to work on before I start to go a bit blind working through the different stages on them. So that's the beginning of that platoon. And then finally here, you've got what will be the company command in the form of the company commander on the right-hand side, and then the company sergeant on the left-hand side on those 2 3-man small bases, with the radio operator there passing, or trying to get the attention of the company commander. And then here, not attached to anyone at the moment, are 3 of the anti-tank teams from the Weapons Platoon as well, that I painted at the same time as the company HQ. So I'll do a couple more of those at a later stage as well. And that is basically the whole collection at the moment. I have got the rest of that US Marine platoon at the front here primed and ready to go. I've put some of the basic colours on them as well. And then I have a whole other platoon of those to do to finish the company, including a few support weapons as well from the Weapons Platoon. In addition to which, I have furnished them with a variety of vehicles. So I've got a couple of Amtraks. I did get a few M113 APCs and a few bits and pieces like that, just to furnish what will be the rule set in the end, where you only really need a few vehicles. And I want this to be a largely infantry affair anyway. But yeah, really nice miniatures, having not done Flames of War for a while. Overall, very happy with these newer castings that I'm using for the US Marine Company. What I will say, there were a few defects in it. There were a few that were basically unusable, or the casting had come out in such a way as they weren't recoverable because the weapon just stopped, for example, was just a blob, or the point where the feet meet the base was so thin that they immediately snapped. And there's little defects like that, but because I purchased an extra pack, I had enough spare figures to make up for things like that, and also fill out some options for weapons team and company command. And that's just the Aircav platoon again. I have bought some Hueys as well, which I'll need to get around to. I have no intention of doing much more in the platoon for the Aircav. They'll just be a potential support platoon or something extra that can feature in scenarios, etc. And so that's everything. That's my Flames of War Battlefront Miniatures Vietnam collection so far. I hope you've enjoyed having this little look at them. Let me know what you think in the comments about how they've come out. If there's anything about the way I've done them you don't particularly like or anything like that. But I've done my best to get something aesthetically pleasing together. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. They're a very pleasing scale. I sort of tickle that midpoint between detail and numbers, and you can get quite a few of them on the table, I think, for the relevant ground scale or table size that you might have. So that's all I have for you for today. This will basically feature as another one of my ongoing painting projects, and I'll update it as I work on them more. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and happy hobbying.